Hello and good day, welcome to our YouTube channel, God's Promises. And today's video will be Book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 12. Let's get started now. The 12th chapter of 2 Corinthians is one of the most intriguing and mysterious chapters in the New Testament. It begins with Paul recounting an experience he had where he was caught up to the third heaven and heard inexpressible things that he was not allowed to share with anyone. He then goes on to describe a thorn in his flesh, which was a source of great suffering for him. Despite the lack of clarity around what exactly Paul experienced in the third heaven, there are still many valuable lessons and teachings that we can glean from this chapter. In this essay, we will explore the key themes and teachings found in 2 Corinthians 12. Firstly, we see the importance of humility in the life of a Christian. Paul speaks of his thorn in the flesh, which he says was given to him to keep him from becoming conceited. We do not know what this thorn was, but it caused Paul significant suffering and weakness. Despite this, he did not become bitter or resentful, but rather saw it as an opportunity to rely more fully on the strength of Christ. This reminds us that even in our weakness and suffering, God is working to refine us and draw us closer to Him. Secondly, we see the importance of perseverance in the face of opposition and hardship. Paul speaks of the many hardships he faced, including imprisonments, beatings, and shipwrecks. Yet he did not give up or lose heart, but continued to press on in his mission to spread the gospel. This serves as an inspiration to us to keep going even when things get tough, knowing that God is with us and will give us the strength we need to persevere. Thirdly, we see the importance of faith in God's grace and power. Paul speaks of his weaknesses, but also of the power of Christ that works in him. He recognizes that it is not his own strength or abilities that enable him to do the work of ministry, but the grace and power of God. This reminds us that we are not called to rely on our own strength or merit, but on the grace and power of God. Furthermore, Paul also speaks of the danger of spiritual pride and the need for self-reflection and accountability. He mentions that he could boast of his experiences, but chooses not to in order to avoid becoming conceited. This serves as a warning to us to be aware of our own pride and to surround ourselves with people who will hold us accountable and help us stay humble. Finally, we see the importance of trust and surrender to God's will. Paul speaks of his desire for the thorn to be removed, but ultimately submits to God's will and recognizes that God's grace is sufficient for him. This reminds us that we must trust in God's plan for our lives, even when it is not what we would choose for ourselves. In conclusion, 2 Corinthians 12 is a chapter that emphasizes the importance of humility, perseverance, faith, self-reflection, accountability, and trust in God's will. These are all vital lessons for Christians today as we seek to follow Christ and fulfill His mission in the world. May we always remember that it is not our own strength or abilities that enable us to do this work, but the grace and power of God that works in us. Thank you for visiting us today. Please share with us your favorite Bible chapter below in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it really does help our channel grow. Looking forward to see you back here for our next video. Always take good care.